What is your take on what's happened to Novak so far this year?
Well, I had a chat with the team last night, and obviously what's spoken in the locker room will stay in the locker room, as you can understand. But he obviously hasn't found his top form yet. I thought he fought well. I thought he had moments in his matches when the old brilliance resurfaced. But something happened along the line that he can't finish matches these days. But the truth lies on the court. You know, you're not going to get better by not playing. So I suggest him to continue what he's doing. You know, he's won the French Open last year, so that's the big goal for him right now. And he should continue play. I don't think he's going to play Barcelona, but then, you know, Madrid and Rome, and just continue on this streak. I think he's playing better than he's played in a couple of months.
Fabrice, do you think it's only a matter of time before he reproduces the form that made him such a fantastic world #1?
Hopefully it will be very soon, because it's so important for tennis to have so many rivalry that we had last year, and we need this kind of big matches that Novak played in the past. I have a question for Boris. What's the main reason regarding the recent results of Novak? Is it tennis, mental, or physique?
No, I don't think you can lose your forehand or your serve overnight, but I think it's his mindset. You know, I think a lot has changed for him winning the Grand Slam last year at the French. It was his lifelong dream, and then it's sort of, you know, you poked the balloon and the air went out, and he hasn't gotten the air back. And you know, the locker room doesn't sleep. You know, they see weakness by the top guy. They want to get his scalp. They're reading his body language now, and then they're getting smarter how to play him. And that's another problem. You know, once you've been dominating for so long, you've won so many times. Eventually the tide is turning. It's just, you know, he's 29, he's still old enough to rearrange the ship and get in the right direction, but he has to do it soon.
Yeah, actually it's interesting, Annabelle, because you were talking with regards to his body language yesterday about how he seems to be floating around the court a little bit, and occasionally you see some of the fierce determination of the past, but almost a little bit of an indecisive air attached to him at times.
Yeah, I mean, Boris would know more about the body language than me, because you've sat there courtside and been so close to all of that. But I do watch a lot of the body language on court, and sometimes, you know, with him, when he's bubbling under the surface, Boris, and you feel like he's about to explode and he's like a pressure cooker, and you kind of think, well, that's maybe normal. And then he does have these other modes where he ignores everything, doesn't he? And he just kind of puts it all behind him, get on with the next point, but you feel like it's not really real. Is that the way to describe it? That he's sort of floating through, trying to control what's at the anguish underneath the surface. But he has two different modes out there, doesn't he?
Well, he's an emotional guy, and in the past, when he played emotional, it was in his favor. Now the emotions get hold of him, and it makes him play worse.
Yes.
So he has to appreciate who he is. He's an emotional guy. That's the difference sometimes between winning and losing. But for some reason at the moment, when he gets emotional, he gets down on himself, and then the shoulders go down, and the body language goes negative, and the opponent is watching.
Yeah, but also for every player, when they're in the kind of Zen mode where they're not having to think about things, it's all just second nature, isn't it? And at the moment, it feels like there's a disconnect between the emotional side of things and what's happening. He's having to think more about how to win tennis matches, whereas it used to be just on instinct before.
Well, it's never that easy as it looks. You know, believe me, even last year or the year before, there was a lot of, you know, hard work beforehand, a lot of, you know, strategy, and of course, when he's on sync, you don't think that he's actually thinking about, but he does. It's just when the ball just doesn't hit the line and the overrule gives him a time violation. Well, those things happen. They can rattle you emotionally, and whatever worked to his benefit last year works against him now.